Today's program features Hyundai going all out with the design of its new Elantra. BMW is unveiling its new X5, and you'll almost need a commercial driver's license to drive it. Fiat is reviving the Multipla in a version that doesn't need a license, and a brand gone for 30 years is making a major comeback. Hyundai has just unveiled the new Elantra, and the burning question today is simple. Has Hyundai gone too far with the design? Remember, in the early 2000s, the Elantra was this compact, harmless, and admittedly robust car, but with the charisma of a plane cracker. It quietly left Europe to fill rental fleets in the United States, but that was before. Unveiled at the recent Busan Motor Show in South Korea under its local name Avante, the new 2027 model has decided it will never be invisible again. The car now looks like something straight out of a dystopian science fiction movie. It has flared wheel arches, a minimalist front end with headlights forming an H-shaped pattern, and at the rear, a huge spoiler stretching across the entire width. Not to mention those flush door handles and that strange little triangular window added behind the rear door. Is it too much? Maybe, but at least you don't fall asleep looking at it now. And what's funny is that this acid trip stops abruptly once you open the door. Inside, it's completely calm. You go from Mad Max to a Scandinavian lounge. Hyundai has installed its new Android-based infotainment system with a central screen that can reach up to 14 or 14.6 inches. The logo is gone from the steering wheel, now replaced by 4 dots, Morse code for H. After seeing the exterior, it's almost disappointingly comfortable. Under the hood, Europe, since it should return to us next year, will get a non-plug-in 1.6-liter hybrid engine producing 157 horsepower. An N version, equipped with a 2.5 turbo engine nearing 300 horsepower, is also in the works. Due to European environmental rules and the French malice tax, this version likely won't reach us. In conclusion, Hyundai took a colossal risk. They took a boring sedan and turned it into an aggressive metallic origami. Did they go too far? For fans of discretion, absolutely. It remains to be seen if Europe is ready to embrace such extravagance. Now let's talk about a very interesting concept: unapologetic automotive obesity. While everyone urges us to eat 5 fruits and vegetables a day and ride bikes, BMW is tackling the issue from the opposite angle. They looked at the competition, snickered, and today they unveiled the new X5, a machine that, in its electric iX5 version, proudly tips the scales at nearly 3 tons. So the question is, how does BMW plan to crush the competition with a family tank? Let's start from the beginning. In 1999, the first X5 invented the premium SUV. It was a pioneer. Today, for this 5th generation, BMW has decided to make it a technological, all-you-can-eat buffet. Gasoline, plug-in hybrid, electric, and even hydrogen for 2028. But let's talk about this famous iX5 Electric, the jewel in the crown. To move this 4.99-meter-long giant, the Bavarian engineers didn't hold back. They put in the biggest battery ever seen in Europe, 141 kilowatt hours. That's the equivalent of 2 Tesla Model Y batteries stacked on the floor. As a result, a crazy range announced at 845 kilometers. And with its 2 engines pumping out 578 horsepower, this 2,900 kilo monster launches you from 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds. They followed the same design as the New York class, smoothing the body so much that door handles are gone, replaced by small touch-sensitive fins. The grille lights up like a Las Vegas jukebox, and the headlights feature an X-shaped signature, just to remind you of what you just bought. Inside, there's the huge 17.9-inch central screen, a panoramic display at the base of the windshield, and even a 15-inch screen just for the passenger. But be careful. If the driver tries to sneak a look at the passenger's movie, a camera detects it and turns off the screen. At BMW, safety is handled with military discipline. Special mention goes to the slate finishes on the center console. Because why settle for wood or carbon when you can have pieces of roofing in your car? All of this comes at a price, of course. The electric iX5 and the plug-in hybrid version both start at exactly the same price, $105,999. 950 euros. In conclusion, BMW made no compromises. They created a heavy, ostentatious, ultra-technological SUV that can recharge 350 km in 10 minutes. So, what do you think of this new X5? Let us know in the comments. Next, Fiat decided to bring back from the dead a name that still gives designers around the world cold sweats, the Multipla. Well, almost. Fiat is bringing back the Multipla, but they've shrunk it in the wash and renamed it Multiplina. Let me explain. Recently in Rome, the big boss of Fiat, Olivier Francois, gathered the press to talk about the cute little Topolino. And then, like a magician pulling a rabbit out of his hat, he unveiled this project, the Multiplina, planned for 2028 with an official presentation as early as this October. So rest assured right away they haven't reused the design of the 1998 Multipla. No, for the Multipla, they went back in time to 1956 to take inspiration from the very first 600 Multipla. The idea was to create an ultra-upright minivan with a gigantic panoramic windshield and wheels pushed out to all four corners of the body. The goal is noble, to offer 4 real seats in a shoebox-sized car. But it won't be a real car, it'll be a heavy quadricycle, category L7E for those who like incomprehensible terms. This means that to fit 4 human beings, Fiat has to follow strict rules. The first is weight. The Multipla must not exceed it. It must not exceed 450 kg on the scale, not counting the batteries. For an engineer, that's already a nightmare. And it doesn't stop there. The power is limited to 15 kilowatts, that's about 20 horsepower with 4 adults on board. If you come across a steep hill, you'll need some courage. As for the maximum speed, it's limited to 90 km/h. However, you have to give Fiat credit for one thing. They're trying to offer an alternative. While everyone else is making bulky urban SUVs, they're betting on extreme compactness. They're targeting a price below 10,000 euros after incentives. In summary, Fiat is making a bold bet, trying to revive the spirit of the Multipla, that is spatial ingenuity, but confining it within the constraints of a golf cart. Will it be an urban stroke of genius or just a glorified tin can? We'll find out at the Paris Motor Show maybe, or in 2028 on our roads. And finally, the Stellantis group has just made a big move. They've decided to bring back a brand that disappeared 30 years ago. Get ready for a trip back in time, because Autobianchi is back. Autobianchi, if you're under 40 that name, probably makes you think of a pasta brand or some obscure Italian cheese. But for others, it was an institution. Born in 1955 from a joyful 3-way partnership between Bianchi, Fiat, and Pirelli, the brand produced little gems like the Bianchina and the unforgettable A112, fantastic cars, produced in Desio near Milan until Fiat decided to pull the plug in 1995. But today, spy photographers caught a heavily camouflaged prototype on Italian roads, and on the rear doors, spelled out in full, you could read Autobianchi. Except that instead of creating a new car, they took the oldest vehicle in their lineup, the Fiat Panda, well, the Pandina as they call it now, a car whose platform is 15 years old, and that has barely changed since 2011. They took this trusty little car based on the Cross version, with its big black rugged plastic parts, and they slapped an Autobianchi badge on it. Under the hood, we should find the small 1-liter 3-cylinder micro-hybrid engine that puts out 65 horsepower, all paired with a 6-speed manual gearbox. Rumor has it that it will have a vintage brown-beige paint job and maybe velvet seats to make it look classy. But why do this? Why bring back a prestigious name on a car that's old enough to take its middle school exams? The answer is simple. If you don't use a registered trademark for a certain period of time, you lose the rights to it. Additionally, the Italian government threatened to give the Autobianchi and Innocenti names to Chinese manufacturers. So Stellantis reacted to preserve their heritage and reset the legal clock. They're preparing for the brand's comeback. And it's also an excellent way to get the most profit out of a 15-year-old model for another 15 years. And as you know, on this channel, we cover car news, but we've also launched something completely new, a totally different format. Alfa Romeo sent me to Italy on a racetrack with 500 horsepower under my right foot, and incidentally, a terrible fear of flying to get there. It's a new format for us, so let us know what you think in the comments. The link to this brand new video is in the description and in the first pinned comment. Thanks in advance to everyone for your feedback. Thank you all for watching this new video. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss anything. Ciao.